County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, yes, I'm returning a call from UnderSheriff Snelling.
Okay, give me one moment to get you down to his extension, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
UnderSheriff Snelling.
Hey, UnderSheriff Snelling, this is Michael Smith returning your call. Returning me.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Doing all right. So what's your question? I've gotten a handful of people that call in are upset with what they see, and what I use.
And I don't want to. Yeah, and I don't want to waste too much of your time. I just in my mind, the sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer in the county, and so we want to know if the sheriff has any ability to hold the police department accountable.
We don't. Right in Colorado. Are you in Colorado?
No. I've lived there before, and but I'm in Georgia at the moment.
Yeah. No. Right. The Colorado statute is completely different, and if they're an incorporated municipality or city, right, a jurisdiction up to they're their own entity, their own government. And really, the only time we're required to, by statute, provide assistance is to basically quell riots. If they had like an uprising in the town, we were required to do that. And the other one is at the request of a chief or chief executive officer of a law enforcement agency to go in and give them a hand. We have MOUs, mutual operating agreements, with all of our municipalities, because in this case, right, we are kind of the big brother to most everybody, but we can't just go in and take over the police department. What they could do is they could always disband their police department and then contract with us for services, which is a thing that happens in Colorado quite often.
Okay, gotcha. And does in Colorado, does the sheriff have jurisdiction throughout the state? Like I know Georgia sheriffs can operate. They're responsible for their county, but they actually have jurisdiction statewide. Is that the case?
Right. Our statute says that, right, we can be on duty anywhere in the state of Colorado, right? So within the four corners of the state, absolutely. But we can't, like I said, the statute limits us to going in and taking over someone else's jurisdiction. And most places are set up, most counties are set up like us, where it seems like the county is the bigger agency. But there are some places in Colorado where the county only has a handful of deputies, and it's municipalities that have like 20 or 30 cops. So that it actually works the other way in some places in the state of Colorado.
I got
But
it.
I know where you're getting to, and I'll just tell you this: that look, Idaho Springs has just recently got a new chief. I think he's a bright and talented guy, and I think he's doing the right thing for now, right? Trying to do the right thing.
Good.
I'm not making excuses for him. He inherited, right? He walked into what he walked into. So, which is it's unfortunate in a lot of ways, right? We as a department all looked at it. Actually, I had a discussion with the chief, since he's a new chief, right? He has been bending my ear since he got here, and right, he was on top of it and on track the whole time with getting his guys charged and dealing with that issue right out of the box. So he did the right thing. As bad as that is, as bad as that looks, it's bad, right? We all agree with that.
Yeah.
We certainly don't condone any of that behavior, and so we get how the public is feeling. So we feel the same way.
Yeah. That is great to hear, and I would love to see some of these things change. I mean, it's bigger issues, but like Sheriffs Mack and Prince from Arizona, won a 10th Amendment case in the Supreme Court against the federal government on the Brady bill. And I would like to, again, my underlying agenda is that I believe law enforcement should all be accountable directly to the electorate. So, I lived in a county here in Georgia where there's only one municipality, and so the county sheriff is the law enforcement. And really the one municipality, all they do is protect City Hall and write speeding tickets, But so that's my agenda, is that I really want to enforce the power of the county sheriff and get rid of all this appointed law enforcement,
Look, it's a tough job, right? Anybody who would take a chief's job nowadays, because you could be out at a whim, and cops are bad cops, or whether you're bowing to the current social justice issues, or flying a flag out of your car, or not flying a flag. I mean, just there's all sorts of these issues that make your life expectancy as a chief, right, just unavoidably short. And you look at this and go, right, well, where's the good ground is, right? People, there's an expectation that we treat people appropriately, and that's certainly our expectation here, right? And I can tell you, my job as the undersheriff is to deal with all the discipline. Well, I'm even-handed about it, but right, this is a shenanigan-free zone. We don't, I don't put up with anything, not even a little bit of anything, and people know that here. So, right, they're held to a standard, and that we expect that standard is going to be adhered to. And I can tell you how over the past, 6 months, I've probably gotten rid of, 60 years worth of experience, because I've had guys who, been on the job long enough and know better, have made mistakes, right? Didn't amount to the kind of mistake that you saw in that video, but have made mistakes that, right, we just don't tolerate. So, I think it's one of those things where, the people that work for you need to know what the standard is and what the expectations are. And again, here, right, you're exactly right. The sheriff gets reelected every 4 years, or a sheriff gets elected every 4 years. And I think that's the best way to kind of do your business, right? Because that way they don't have to be in there that long. And if you don't, if you like what they're doing, then vote them back in. And if you don't like what they're doing, vote them out. Get somebody else there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think that's the way it should be. And it sounds like Idaho Springs does have a good new police chief, and, props to him for having the fortitude to step into that, so, and do the right thing in this case. So yeah, also,
well, part of me doesn't want him to get run out of town right away, because I think that, right, I've just met the guy and have worked with him for, just a month or so, but I'm thinking, man, he's got a great personality. He's smart as a whip, and I'm thinking he's capable, right, and he knows, or starting to see whatever, the good people are doing, and then what problem children he's inherited, right? That's always a problem when you come to an agency, you inherit some things. And I think he's doing the very best job he can for now. And, I'm always one of those guys, give him a chance and see what, ask in 6 months what it looks like, right? Has it gotten better? Have the complaints gone down? Those kind of things.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. I agree.
Yeah. But hey, Michael, I got to tell you, thank you for calling and asking the question and having a philosophical or a decent discussion about it, instead of calling and yelling at my dispatchers or my other staff members and calling us a bunch of war pigs and telling us you're going to blow us up.
Yeah,
and then one call that didn't.
That's horrible. And I participate, social media, and definitely the message I give, is, only call if it's for a good reason, and be respectful. I mean, are we trying to deal with issues for real, or are we just, being emotional, expressing, or venting our emotions, Or
anger and stuff. I agree with you, right? And it is always a pleasure to talk, and whether we agree or not on the issue, it's always a pleasure at least to talk with somebody who's halfway logical and, smart enough to make sense, so you're not sitting here having this one-sided match where they're just yelling at you and, calling you names and telling you what they want to do.
Amen. So, well, props to you for for dealing with that stuff, and I hope it quiets down.
Like I said, I appreciate your approach. That's refreshing.
Good. Well, I love law enforcement. I wanted to be elected, but I've been places that don't have law enforcement, and the alternative is not good.
No, it's not, right? I mean, I'll tell you, I agree with you. I think we've got the best system in the world. It's not perfect, but you're right. I've been to those other places, and it's even scarier than you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will throw you in jail for no reason, and you'll never get out, or they'll never see you again. So.
Yeah, I've seen the inside of a Saudi jail. I was happy to get out.
I bet you were. God bless you. Yeah. All right, Michael. Thanks for chatting with me, brother.
Thank you, brother. Have a good officer, Under Sheriff Snelling. We'll be watching you guys, and, supporting you, and we'll definitely go out on the social media and let folks know that you guys are, on top of everything.
Well, we absolutely are. Like I said, if you ever have a question, right, you call me, or you share my number with others and let them know. Look, if they want a nice conversation, or at least a conversation, they can call. Yeah. So, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, take care, sir.
You too.
Bye.